Cementation is it's been everywhere doing work, but it's done. I'd say probably one of the most probably most high profile from publicly. It would be the work they did in Chile. Could you talk about that a little bit?
Certainly, we were working. We had a company based in Santiago and doing work in South America and mainly in Chile. And uh, Terra Sem was the name of the company. So Terra Services and Cementation was a joint venture with a local company. We were doing a raise bore hole for Codelco uh, in the Atacama region where the San Jose mine was. And then we saw on the news that these 33 miners were trapped underground. This was 2010.
Hmm.
So we were quite nearby. We very quickly put a proposal together um, and sent it to the government. We didn't really know who to send it to because the San Jose mine was, in a kind of a state of confusion uh, as to a plan on how we would get the miners out. And because we had equipment very nearby, we became Plan A.
Mm.
So they brought us in. We set up a raise bore machine. We began to drill down. It was 700 meters from the point of our machine to where they believed the miners were, because right at the start there was no communication. They didn't know if they were alive or where they were, but there was a refuge station. So we began drilling towards that station. In the meantime, they had broken a diamond drill hole through and found out that all 33 were alive. So there were three different plans. The Chilean government did a very smart thing, is they had three different plans to rescue the miners, and it was actually Plan B that broke through first. It was a bit of a race, but a lot of Canadian involvement and people sometimes don't know this. So Cementation Canada was our equipment that was on Plan A, and our people that were supervising that. Plan C was actually a group from Calgary
Oh.
doing the drilling as well. But very interesting, a small project in terms of scope, the type of projects we do, but probably the most high profile project we've ever done. And we were all very happy to see the miners all get out safely. So
Yeah, that story was everywhere when that came out.
yeah,
Was it? Had you been involved in projects like those sort of rescue type things before, or was that sort of a one-off?
and definitely a one-off.
Yeah.
And there are some very interesting aspects to it. It was technically challenging, and I won't get into the tricky parts of it, but the way the industry came together, and some of the equipment that would probably take 3 or 4 months to design, we were designing in 1 or 2 weeks. There was such a sense of urgency, working around the clock with people in different countries. It was a great example of how the global mining industry can pull together and really do achieve something great. So very small scope, but huge cooperation across the globe. It was very inspiring.
Yeah. The curious side of me is going to get the better. So, what were some of the technical? What were some of the technical? If it's not too much to dig
Okay,
into.
well, yeah, sure. Happy to go into that. The approach we had was raise boring, and with raise boring, what you do is you drill, let's say a 15-inch hole. I'm going to switch from inches to metric. Sorry, but
Yeah.
I work in both. But
Okay.
a 15-inch hole down, and then we would put a reamer on it, and we would ream it out to about 30 inches diameter, and that would be big enough to bring people up. The problem is, to do that, you need access below. We didn't have access below because the
Right.
mine had caved in. So what we were going to do was we were going to do a down ream, which has some challenges. It usually isn't done beyond 100 meters, but we had to do 700 meters. But in the Chilean paper, there was an interview with a local university professor, and he said, if they're going to raise bore it, of course they're going to drill a pilot hole, and then they're going to lower the reamer down the pilot hole. And we thought, well, first of all, he didn't really know what he was talking about. But then we thought, that's not a bad idea. So that's when we started engineering this unique system where we could, in a 15-inch hole, we could lower all the parts so that the miners could put them together so we could upgrade.
Oh.
So that's instead of some of the traditional methods, this innovative approach, and we got together with groups from Australia and South Africa and Germany, different suppliers and companies, and brainstormed this. And within, I think, 5 days, we had a design, and Atlas Copco put that together. And then we looked around the world who could manufacture this very quickly, and found a group in Sudbury that had the material in stock. So it all came together. It was amazing how quickly it came together, because when you look at an innovative idea, it usually takes time and effort and review and review and review. But this was a great collaborative effort, and so that's about as technical as I'll get into.